I believe that opportunity looks a lot like hard work.
The only thing in life that stands between you and everything you've ever wanted to do is doing it. All that stood between me and everything I've ever wanted to do in life was doing it.
It comes down to this, Elvis. I think you have to work hard. Like, just so everybody knows, we haven't gotten into this subject yet. Working hard is the cost of entry to anything. You know 0 people that are successful that don't work their face off. You know 0 people. Now, they may have money because mommy and daddy made money and gave it to them. But people that actually built their own success, you know 0 people that have had success that did not put in obnoxious amounts of work.
When you see the famous people, wow, so successful, you don't know behind this story, how tough they are, like people, wow, Jackie, the move is so good. When everybody sleep, I still in the health club, in the mirror, practicing, like this, and and 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, get up on the set. Then you suddenly do something, very beautiful. Oh yeah, go back, training again. Okay, there's a snake head, that's a snake mouth, that's snake tongue. Okay, you create more things.
It's funny, everybody wants a shortcut, right? That's the most common question people always ask me. Tell me the key. And there is no magic. It's just a lot of little things you gotta do every day. Success is all those boring, sexy things that have to get done every single day to move the ball forward.
And so that's when I learned the tough lesson that nothing happens overnight. There's no such thing as overnight success. And that's the biggest thing we do to our young people, tell them that there's an animal as overnight success. You have to bust your ass, roll up your sleeves, and attack.
Do you think in order to succeed, not just in the fashion business, but just to succeed generally, is it talent or hard work?
It's a combination of both, but I would say it's slanted towards hard work, slanted towards obsession. There are many designers who have much greater talent as a designer than I do, but they may not have my drive, they may not work as hard, they may not have the focus, the desire. I mean, you have to have a talent, because in the end, you can have all those things, and if the pair of pants you make don't make someone's butt look good, they're not going to buy them. So you have to have the talent to be able to make something that people want. But then you also have to have the drive and the desire to, sometimes people are successful because maybe they don't have that drive, but they have someone around them who takes their raw talent and pushes them. But what you often see is when that other person steps away, their career can collapse, even though their talent may be immense.
Everything happens for a reason, and there's a story to everything, and if you take time to realize what your dream is and what you really want in life, no matter what it is, whether it's sports, whether it's other fields, you have to realize that there's always work to do, and you want to be the hardest working person in whatever you do, and you put yourself in position to be successful, and you have to have a passion about what you do, and basketball was mine. And that's what's carried me to this point.
And if you're watching this video right now, and if you want it as bad as I hear you want it, and if this is your year, and if 2017 is gonna be your year, and if this is your moment, and if you're sick and tired, and it's your time, these 31 days in August is exactly when you triple down, when you 4X, 5X down in your hustle, while everybody's at the pool drinking rosé. This is when you put in the grinding hours and get ready for your master plan.
Success is born out of luck. It's awareness of mind that takes advantage of that opportunity. You will all be confronted with opportunity. You must take advantage of it. Because if you don't take advantage of your opportunity, you'll never realize your dreams. Whether you want them or not is an irrelevance. You don't know that until you achieve it.
I mean, the reality is, reading a book or going to a conference or having a great conversation where you get this golden information, that's all fantastic. But what makes mastery is execution on the ideas, not the ideas. And so no idea works unless you're willing to roll up your sleeves, do the practice, invest the time, put in the effort, do the work. I think we've all observed a lot of people who they love reading the books, they love showing up at the courses, they do all the online training, and nothing ever changes. And they say, well, you know, I don't know why it doesn't change, why my life doesn't change, why my thinking doesn't change, why my performance doesn't change, why my relationships don't change. Well, it's because ideas don't work if you don't execute on them. So if you look at the great business builders, you look at any great performer, one thing that makes them great is their grit. One thing that makes them great is their hunger to practice. One thing that makes them great is they are willing to sacrifice. I mean, yes, they're passionate, but did you know the root of the word passion is suffering? You've got to be willing to suffer for your vision. You've got to be willing to suffer to reach BIW, best in world. You've got to be willing to suffer the ridicule and laughter of your critics and your cynics to get to a place called world class.
So look, you want to get your work ethic so high that people actually admire you. I'm going to ask you a question right now. Do people know you because of your unbelievable work ethic? If you can't answer yes to that, man, you're not going to get in that top 10%. You got to get to the top. People have to know you, not because, oh, he's a good salesman. Oh, he's a good this. Oh, he's an artist. Oh, he's a good pianist. Oh, he writes a great, story. No, dude, people need to know you for one major thing first. He works. He produces. The guy's there every day. The guy's pushing and shoving. Because the truth is, no matter how good your ideas are, how good your art is, or how good your skill set is, if you're not working, man, if you're not vibrating at a frequency that people say, my God, how does that guy do all that? If you're not vibrating at that rate, 10x levels, massive action, tremendous work ethic that's just a muscle now, and it's just a discipline in your life, and it's a normal way that other people think is abnormal. Ryan Seacrest, Tom Cruise, Oprah, Steven Spielberg, Donald Trump, still pumping and working as a billionaire. Look, if you're not working at that level, you're not going to make it. Get your work ethic in, man.
Look, your habits determine what direction you're going. Your success in life, your results in life are in direct proportion to your habits. Not what you say you're gonna do, but what are you gonna do? You've got to develop successful habits, and I believe that starts with being a daily goal setter and a daily goal hitter. That you get up. Too many people spend their whole life, they say they're dreaming, but they're really just pipe dreams. They're thinking about what they want to be doing in 20 years and what their plans are way out in the future. Let me tell you what, the future you need to be worried about is not the next 20 years, but the next 20 minutes. What are you going to be doing? What are you going to be doing to be effective? When you get up every day, know your priorities. Life will overwhelm you. Stuff will overwhelm you. With all the information we have now, whether it's your phone, where sometimes I think we have smartphones and stupid people, it is so easy to get consumed by a bunch of stuff that is not going to get you where you want to get to. Say every day, I will do today what others don't, so I will have tomorrow what others won't.
Here's a brain tattoo for you to consider. An addiction to distraction will be the death of your creative production. Here's another brain tattoo for you to consider. We live in a world where focus is more valuable than even your intelligence. You want to be a great footballer, we understand you've got to put in the time to practice. You want to be a great chef, we understand you've got to do the practice. You want to be a great entrepreneur, you've got to put in the hours of rigor and discipline building your business. And yet, we all know the 10,000 hour rule, we all know the 10-year rule pioneered by Anders Ericsson at University of Florida, the preeminent researcher in the field of exceptional performance. And that 10-year rule has now been popularized by a lot of authors. But what he found was this: if you look at any great performer, they had one thing in common. They spent the equivalent of 10 years or 10,000 hours practicing their skill before the first signs of genius showed up. I mean, if you watch most performers today, you watch most people in business today, you watch most people in your community today, and they are walking while checking their social feeds. You know, they are addicted to the entertainment of video games. They are spending the best hours of their days watching dancing cats on YouTube. I mean, it is incredible right now how consumed people are with their tiny white screens. And yet if you look at the A players, if you look at many of the most creative and productive people on the planet, they are doing and working in such vastly different ways. Because if you want to achieve the results only 5% achieve, you've got to think and produce and behave like only 5% of the people on the planet. And the best people on the planet in terms of creativity and productivity are not spending their finest hours addicted to distraction. They are doing work that matters. They're not doing fake work, they're doing real work.
We will relentlessly pursue perfection. We won't catch it, but in our quest we will catch excellence. And see, in life, I believe that's what separates the people that go do something great, is that they relentlessly pursue perfection. They beat themselves up every day when they're not perfect, when they don't do the right thing and stuff. But by being relentless at that, at the end of the day, when you relentlessly pursue perfection, you'll catch excellence. You've got to choose to be effective. Know what your priorities are. Know what your must-dos are. Don't let your phone, don't let your tablet, don't let the TV, don't let your friends knock you off what are the most important things to get done today.
What you want to ask yourself is, are you somebody at work that's a contender? Mm-hmm. Are you there to compete? Are you somebody that has a reputation, that is an expert in your subject matter, that's known for getting things done, that when you walk into the room, they're like, here comes Jamie, she's going to have something to say? Or are you a helper? Mm-hmm. Are you somebody that's there at the office to help out? The first thing that you can do is you can be asking for assignments that are above your level. So there's work that you do at your level, and then there's work that you do above your level. Mm-hmm. And the only way that you're going to be promoted to do work above your level is A, if you can demonstrate that you're capable of doing the work at your level, and B, if you are proactive in seeking out opportunities that expand your capability and give you a chance to work above the level that you're at. Nothing's going to happen unless you take that initial action. Right. Nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to change unless you put down that pen in the meeting and you sit up and you pay attention and you listen for your opportunity to speak. Nothing's going to happen unless you push yourself to go in and make the ask for that assignment that scares you to death. Right. And without that grit and without that it's not even fearlessness, it's just the impulse to act. Without doing that, you got nothing.
And so what I want to leave you with is this. Maybe this year, rather than having 50 projects that you want to achieve at the highest level, maybe pick 3. This year, rather than having 1,000 Facebook friends, maybe go deep and develop 3 really great relationships. This year, or maybe the next few months, rather than trying to read 20 audiobooks, 50 ebooks, go to 5 courses, why not focus on 1 course and 1 audiobook? And why not study 1 great autobiography? Maybe it's Isaacson's autobiography of Steve Jobs. Maybe it's Nelson Mandela's autobiography. I'm going through the autobiography of Martin Luther King Jr. right now, which actually wasn't written by him, but it's called the autobiography of Martin Luther King Jr. I am encouraging you to really adopt this thinking protocol of becoming a minimalist. Even your home, fill it with just a few things, right? Even your work life, just a few projects. Even your clients, just the highest leverage clients, and especially your days, focus on just those few priorities that when you roll up your sleeves and go deep in them and invest what I call the trinity of your assets, your focus, your energy, and your willpower on those few things, they will allow you to birth art into the world, which will allow the world to call you world class.
I was willing to completely die to any form of me that I had been so that I can birth the woman that I was becoming. The reason why a lot of people won't become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been. And you hear it all the time when people say, I've always been this way. Okay, well, if that's working for you, keep doing that. I knew it wasn't working for me any longer. I had hit my version of rock bottom. So I was willing to let go of everything and everybody. See, another reason why people won't get there is because the doorway is for you to fit through. You're trying to carry everybody else through because you're trying to be Rescue 911. And you got to rescue you first. I am much more valuable to my family and to my community because I was willing to let them go through the door myself, teach myself, learn myself, condition myself, and then come back and get them. Because I was willing to inconvenience my entire life. My entire life. I was willing to disrupt my entire life to buy my future, to buy my possibility, to give my dream a chance. See, we're not supposed to tuck our dreams in on the pillow when we get up in the morning. We're not supposed to leave them at home and go and fulfill somebody else's dream. We're not supposed to do that. That's not what we're wired to do. That's not who we are. Your human spirit doesn't care about the economy. The human spirit doesn't care that my son's father went to prison. The human spirit doesn't care what's happened to your family. The human spirit doesn't care about the past. You may have been molested, or your family may have been broke, or you may have been betrayed, or you may have a divorce. Your human spirit doesn't care about any of that. Your human spirit simply says, what's our command for tomorrow? What do you want to create? It's not keeping score. Your brain is keeping score because your brain is designed to keep you safe. Your soul, your intuition, your human spirit is designed to make you soar. When you get to the edge, your brain will always tell you to step back. It's always going to tell you to step back because you can fall. Always. It's going to tell you to step back because before you fell, the last time you did this, you saw someone else fail. You could hurt. You could be off work. It's going to tell you. It's designed to keep you safe. So you have to be willing to play between your brain and your soul. And on some days, you got to just listen to your soul. And you got to say, I'm going to leap. I'm going to get to the edge. Most people are at the edge, and you're standing at the edge, and you're watching everyone else fly. That's Pimp My Ride, Watch My Crib, all this stuff. You know, watching people's lives on Facebook. You're at the edge, watching someone else live, wondering what it's going to be like when you jump without ever jumping. And I'm just here to tell you, jump. Because only three things can happen. You're either going to jump and fly, or you're going to jump and fall on something soft, or you're going to fall down hard. Either way, you're going to get back up. You already know you got what it takes to get back up. Your greatest fear is not that you will fall. Your greatest fear is that you will live a full life and never fly, that you never leaped. You're not afraid of dying. You're afraid of dying before the world sees who you really are, before they really get your fingerprint, before they really feel your breath, before they really get your contribution, before they really feel you. That's what you don't want to happen. You don't want to leave this place without us knowing you were here. All I'm doing is giving my dream a chance. And I'm not extraordinary. You don't get off the hook. You don't get to be let off the hook. I'm an ordinary woman who chooses every day to make one more extraordinary decision. And I just tell you guys, I'm that same girl who ran track for Dorsey High School, who struggled to get through high school, who got kicked out of college because I couldn't afford to stay. That was on government. I'm that same girl. I'm that same girl. I don't forget her. I'm also that same woman who runs a multi-million-dollar business. I'm also the same woman who has 7 bestsellers. I own both of those. I own all of it. I don't shrink to my greatness, and I don't live in my saga and my sorrow. If you can own your brilliance while owning your imperfections, if you can own your giant while owning your smallness, if you can live in duality, constant duality, the freedom will be earth-shaking. If you can live in that. See, either you don't want to be as great as you really are, and you're trying to dim your light so that others won't feel insecure about themselves in your presence. And so you keep playing at 79 watts when you know you're supposed to shine at 159 watts. And you keep checking the temperature of the room to see what the room can handle versus just giving the room you and letting them, if your light's too bright, then let them put on some shades. Can you give yourself permission to live in the duality of your imperfections and your smallness and what you're learning and what you still have to learn and your greatness and your brilliance and your light? Can you allow them to coexist and then serve them up to the world? To love you, to see you, to inhale you, to judge you, to leave you, to love you. Some of us are just as afraid of being loved as we are to be left. Can you give the world permission to leave you and love you? If you can master you and your contribution to the planet, your unique fingerprint, your individual breath, your DNA, you're an unrepeatable miracle. You are an unrepeatable miracle. Give me some of you. Give me your uniqueness. I'm just here to disrupt everybody's norm and give them my uniqueness and hopefully inspire millions to do the same.
I've always been told how average I can be. Always been criticized about being average. But I want to tell you something. I stand here before you, before all of these people, not listening to those words, but telling myself every single day to shoot for the stars, to be the best that I can be. Good enough isn't good enough if it can be better, and better isn't good enough if it can be best.
But I listened to what Jim Valvano said 21 years ago. The most poignant 7 words ever uttered in any speech anywhere. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Those great people didn't. I now have a responsibility to also not ever give up.
So stripping that all back to the start of your career, a man with a dream, training in the gym day in, day out. If somebody said to you, you'll have or you'll be as successful as you are now, what would you had said back then?
I believe you. That's what I would have said. Because I did believe.
Yeah,
I believed in it. I had very few people who told me that. I had a small group of people that would tell me something like that. Other than that, it was just me telling myself.
Yep.
So if someone came up to me and told me that all the way back then, I'd say you're damn right.
You know, that's all you have at the end of the day is your work and your integrity at all costs. I don't care if it's 4 scenes in a movie, and I don't care what it is, that you have to infuse it with as much excellence as you can. So when I, was able to work with Meryl Streep, it was a dream come true, and I knew that I had to step up my game. You always get better when you work with people who are excellent. You almost never get better when you work with people who are not excellent.
I think one of the things that's important for all of us is just the work ethic. To be able to put in, like you do, the incredible hours as an entrepreneur, as a visionary, to do whatever it takes, because I don't believe that there's necessarily a magic pill, but I think there's a process, and doing the work is very important. I don't want people to believe that there's a silver bullet and all of a sudden you have a great memory or you have this great success or great relationship or health, and people always ask, what's the one thing I could do? And I always tell people that you have to do most of it, right? And be smart about it, but you have to put in the work, because a lot of times people see on social media, they see all of the success, but what they don't see is the hustle, right? As Gary Vee talks about, and I think as they say, what you practice in private, they say you're rewarded for in public.
Wisdom will come to you in the unlikeliest of sources, a lot of times through failure. When you hit rock bottom, remember this: while you're struggling rock bottom can also be a great foundation on which to build and on which to grow. I'm not worried that you'll be successful. I'm worried that you won't fail from time to time.
As a studio executive, one of the things I do is I develop scripts into movies. But there are some scripts that we develop for a very long time and it never looks like it's gonna get made, and we call this period of time development hell. Some of you have been in development hell because you had an idea for your life and you've been trying and you've been pushing to allow that idea to get into production, but you seem so far away from it that you don't know what you're gonna do. And in this moment, in development hell, it is so tempting to give up on the very idea that brought you this far. You must realize that in development hell, when you are going through a time where you're about to give up on yourself, give up on your God, give up on your friends, give up on your dreams and your beliefs, this is the time when you have to go back to the original idea that motivated your life and hold on to it and don't give up. Because you know why? Because it is just like a scene of a movie. There are some good scenes, there are some bad scenes, but if you keep walking forward, guess what? The hero always wins.
Do you know how powerful you are?
We are all great. No matter if you think you're dumb, no matter if you think you're fat, no matter if you are fat, no matter if you've been bullied, or no matter if you just got back from Iraq or Afghanistan and you have no legs or your arms or whatever, man, we all have greatness. You gotta find the courage. You gotta find the courage to put your Bose headphones on and silence the noise out of this world and to find it. And to find it because it's out there, but it's gonna take hard work, courage, self-discipline. It's gonna take all the non-cognitive skills. All the non-cognitive skills to be great. You know, smart is good, all this stuff is good, that's all cognitive. It's the non-cognitive skills that set you apart from everybody else.
You are who you are today because of all the choices that you've made in your whole entire life. But you know, as we're growing up, we have a lot of people who try to tell us how to make these choices. Our parents, our teachers, our bosses, our friends, even our neighbors. They try to tell us how to live our lives, what we should do, where we should go, how we should walk, how we should talk. But my question for you is this: if you're trying to be what other people want you to be, then who will be you?
Every day, we're seeing who we are as people. When I was growing up, I lied for people to accept me because I didn't accept myself. So I would make up stories so then you would accept me into your world. Everything I did was for someone else to like me. It wasn't until I started reading my own book about how pathetic I was as a human being. I could blame my dad, I can blame kids at school, I could blame having health issues, ADD, my mom not being around. Great mom, but she was doing her thing. I could blame a lot of people. And that's the book I was reading. And I put it off on everybody else. It wasn't until I said, you know what, for me to fix this, I gotta read what the fuck is wrong with David Goggins? Not blame anybody. Read my book and say, okay, I'm afraid of my shadow. How can I overcome that? Go in the military, get your ass kicked, do things you hate to do, be uncomfortable every fucking day of your life. Roger that. I'm not the smartest kid in the world. Okay. Instead of somebody saying, oh no, you're smart. No, don't say that to yourself. I said to myself, no, I'm a dumb motherfucker. Okay, roger that. How do you get smarter? Educate yourself. So the things that we run from the truth. We're running from the truth, man. So the only way I became successful was going towards the truth. As painful and as brutal as it is, it changed me. It allowed me to become, in my own right, who I am today.
Our stories may be different, but I bet some of you grew up with single mothers or fathers. Maybe you came here from Africa or the Caribbean. Maybe you were the first in your family to go to college like I was. Maybe there were times that you didn't have a place to live or enough food to eat. You see, the odds were against you. The odds were against you making it here today. But guess what? You did it. You put this day on your calendar. You overcame the odds. You made a decision and you saw that decision through. So I ask you one more time, do you know how powerful you are?
Raise the rest of your life to meet you. Don't search for defining moments because they will never come. Don't wait until they tell you you are ready. The world might say you are not allowed to yet. I waited a long time out in the world before I gave myself permission to fail. Please, don't even bother asking. Don't bother telling the world you are ready. Show it. Do it. What did Beckett say? Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail again, fail better.
Don't be afraid to close your eyes and dream, but then open your eyes and see. For a lot of people, the distance between their dreams and their reality is intimidating, and they get stuck. They get paralyzed, just like I was in that marathon. And the only way forward is to be real about what it's going to take for you to achieve those dreams. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to tell yourself the truth. You have to tell yourself the truth of what it's going to take for you to be successful. It doesn't come easy. You're going to have to go out there and get it. Nobody's going to give you nothing. There's no rescue team coming, no National Guard, no aid coming, nothing. You're going to have to go out there and get it. And the only way forward is to decide you want that dream. The only way forward is to decide that you want that dream so bad that you are going to work harder, you're going to get up earlier, you're going to stay later, you're going to push past the people who doubted you and laughed at you and hated on you. I want you to be fearless. I want you to be decisive. I want you to make a decision right now that when you fail and you fall to your knees, I want you to remember the power of you, and I want you to get back up on your feet. Make a decision today that when you're in the darkness, you'll remember the power of you. You are your own light. I want you to remember.
So the key to success is to stop conforming to other people's expectations and start performing to your own level of expectations. It's to believe in yourself. It's to know that what you want will eventually come to fruition as long as you believe it. You see, you have to have faith, and faith is knowing that what you want will eventually come to fruition as long as you believe it. And if you feed your faith, you'll find oftentimes that your fears will starve to death. Because if you believe in yourself, everyone else in the world will believe in you.